We see you, we care. Please be yourself while you're here. That's exactly what. That's exactly what. That's exactly what keeps me coming back. One more time. Here at Namaste, we feel some kind of way, something about. We say we love, we really love. We see you, we care. Please be yourself while you're here. That's exactly what. That's exactly what. That's exactly what keeps me coming back. Thank you, Namaste.
Take us there. Oh, beloveds, it's so great to be here today. I was gone last week. I missed you. I was in Mammoth. What a beautiful place to be. Today, as grateful as I am to be here, today we will open and close this service in honor of our beloved Pat Hicks. We'll do a little tribute in just a little while. So grateful the impact people like Pat have made on our lives. So I just want to say that we are so grateful you could be here today. Namaste is a radically welcoming community. If this is your first time, we're so grateful you could be here. And if you're back, welcome back. And we're so grateful for that. Let me just say this while I'm here. We have practitioners, and if I could just have the practitioners stand that are in the room. And our practitioners, which includes myself and Rev Veronica, if you could also stand as well. If you need prayer support today or any time through this time, just please reach out to one of these amazing folks and they will hold you in prayer. And this is a time in which difficult grief is part of it. And we honor the stories that we care about, the people that we lose in life. And there's been a lot of loss in the last couple years. We're also really grateful we can be here together to support one another during this time. So if you're online, welcome, and those of you in the room as well. So let us read something we've read here at Namaste for some time that really speaks to the heart of our community. So read this with me. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you, which is love, truth, light, and peace. When you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, we recognize that we are one. Namaste. So Kong is going to take us through this next song. So grateful for our amazing music team. Let's give them a round of applause today. If you are able, please rise as we sing our opening song.
I hear the music down in my soul. I hear the music down in my soul. I hear the music
Thank you, Kong. Thank you, musicians. Yes? Good afternoon, Namaste. I'm Jesse Keeler, licensed to pray for the Centers for Spiritual Living. And I would like to invite up one of our beloved practitioners, Debbie Ann Volks, with a candle, to light this candle, to light our way. To remember the light that is in our hearts, the light that shines in each and every one of us. The light, the love, the blessing that illuminates our way. Namaste. If you read with me our affirmation. My intention, my conscious direction, and my conscious faith are filled with the power of spirit that flows through my words and actions. And if you gather into that silence, and with me pray, knowing that divine creative spirit, this thing we call God, this thing we call life, is right here and right now with us. And the depths of our grief are an expression of the depths of our love. And as this love flows and fills this room and each and every congregant, that it brings with it the joy of compassion and understanding and remembrance of all that we know is good. And as we bring this service to a start, we bless Reverend Bobby and Reverend John. We bless our musicians and those that are helping with the technology. We bless everyone in this congregation, in this room. We bless the streamers, whether you're here now or you're watching this in the future, because there is only now in the realm of God. Because this life is eternal life, and it's all there is. And I know it's good, and it's very good. And I say blessings and thank you, God, for each and every one present and the love you bring to this service. And so it is. And right now, I'd like to invite up our newest Board of Trustees member, Lori Winterroad. So come on up, Lori. Give her a big welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jesse. So, at this time, I get to invite everybody, and it's great to see so many of you here. And for those of you online, you can do this too for whoever is in the room with you. And if that's a pet or another person, just say hello or say hello to a part of yourself. We'll invite everybody to stand up, look around, say hi to somebody that maybe you haven't seen in a while or someone you haven't met. Everybody come back now. Come on back. And, yep, I know. And folks at home, hopefully you've got enough chance to say hello to other folks at home and hug your cat, hug your dog. Okay. And we're back. So our theme for the month is living everyday wonder and connection, and I heard a lot of connection going on here, so you all are doing a fine job with that. And so we invite everybody to join in with me, so we'll do it slow since maybe some of you, it might be the first time you're seeing this. It's our vision statement for Namaste. Ready? We are a joy-filled, loving center of spiritual growth. We create transformative connections and build bridges of unity for an all-inclusive humanity. We are Namaste. And what do? We awaken to a new truth in our lives. We realize how that truth has played out in our lives. We take on new knowledge and transform our lives, and then we repeat this process in our lives in new ways. And our power statements: we are a place of community, healing, and unity. Hashtag we are Namaste. Hashtag this stuff works. So, a few announcements. Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life began this past Thursday, yeah? So that is continuing. This 5-week class introduces a new perspective on your role in creating ideal relationships, prosperity, and health. Gain a greater understanding of the basic science of mind principles that govern the conditions of your life. Learn to apply the tools so you can practice on a daily basis to enhance all aspects of your life in relationships with self, others, money, health, and well-being. Teachers are Juanita Gardner and practitioner Sylvia Hungerford from Seal Beach CSL, and there's some Seal Beach CSL people here. Yay! And I'm emphasizing that this class is a foundational class for the science of mind philosophy. So it's one, keep an eye out for more classes because there are more classes coming. Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life is the beginning of the life that you desire. And register through Eventbrite. I believe registrations are maybe still open. Yeah, still open, so you can catch up in week 2. Just go to Eventbrite and you can see that through our newsletter or the calendar on our website. The Circle, Evening of Enchantment for Fall Equinox. This week is coming, the Fall Equinox on Zoom. Join practitioner Valerie Day as she hosts Tanya Melendez-Gonzalez, a licensed spiritual counselor and internationally renowned speaker, renowned psychic medium. Following a decade of tarot readings, psychic healing, and spiritual life coaching, Tanya teaches others how to embrace intuition as a superpower. Come and celebrate the fall equinox with Tony and Valerie this Wednesday, September 21st at 7 p.m. on Zoom. Also, the link in newsletter, sign up on Eventbrite for this amazing event. And for the past few weeks, you've been hearing about spiritual soup. Well, guess what? It's this week, coming, 4th Wednesday. Oh, next Wednesday, but we have a different teaser video for you today. It debuts September 28th at 7 p.m. with guest Michael Mirdad from the Global Center for Christ Consciousness. He's known nationally for his spiritual leadership on the platform. So join Jeff and Michael. Jeff you've been seeing for the last few weeks, and now you'll join Jeff and Michael for a discussion of what is healing. Reserve your spot on the table, at the table on Eventbrite. Link where? Newsletter and the calendar on our website. And to that effect, I believe we have a little video for you. So let me go out and find that. That is, yikes, here. That? It changed on me, did it not? Help. It's there. It went away. One moment. Back it up. There we are. Okay. Thanks, Reverend Bobby. Here we go. Watch the screen.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Murdad. I serve part of the spiritual leadership at formerly Unity of Sedona and now the Global Center for Christ Consciousness. I'm going to be joining Jeff Schlicht with his, it's going to be Wednesday, September 28th from 7 to 8:30 in his new program called Spiritual Soup.
Hi, my name is Jeff Schlicht. I am the lead practitioner at Namaste Center for Spiritual Living. I'm also the lead chaplain to support Michael Murdad at the Global Center for Christ Consciousness.
And in the Spiritual Soup, he's asking me to address the concept of healing. We can basically, I want to make it clear that anything that's on your mind about the idea or the topic, or long-term questions about healing, that's what we'll cover. I will basically go with things in the moment. I'm sure that we'll cover some of the causes of issues, whether they're psychological traumas and such, or physical hurts. Things in our lives, blocks of any kind, whether they're physical, psychological, emotional, but we will address and focus on the concept of healing. So please join us. God bless. Bye-bye.
Follow the link to Eventbrite. If you can't make it in real time, buy a ticket. Anyone that buys a ticket will receive a recording of this event. You are not going to want to miss with Michael Murdad, Spiritual Soup. See you there.
Okay. You heard it here first. And almost last but not least, today is Fellowship Sunday. So after service, it's the third Sunday of the month, and after service today, instead of looking at the back of the head of the person in front of you, you can greet them right outside here in the welcoming area by the labyrinth. Okay? So stick around. Every third Sunday, and today is that Sunday. We look forward to seeing you. Daily spiritual practice. This is something that we see every week. It's a 7 a.m. weekday morning. Jumpstart your weekday morning. Join practitioners every weekday morning at 7 a.m. for prayer, support, and connection. You can call in or join on Zoom, and information, website, and the newsletter in your email. Also, the safe place. And this week, I want to emphasize that, especially with what we're doing to honor Pat, that it's an ongoing hour-long grief support group every second Wednesday at 7 p.m. and fourth Monday at 10 a.m. So we've created a safe place to support grief from life events, the changes they bring, and to find comfort in community. And grief happens in strange ways and pops up in our lives at perhaps the most inopportune moments. So here's something that's scheduled, and even if you aren't feeling the grief right then, you can jump in, and there's a lot to be said for being in that safe space with others. Register on Eventbrite, look in our newsletter and website and Facebook for the link. Thank you. So last week, Reverend Veronica, thank you very much for what you brought to us as a community. Yay. While Bobby wasn't here, Reverend Bobby was out, and Reverend Veronica stepped in, and for that, we say thank you. And with that, Reverend Bobby, come on back up.
Really grateful for Lori stepping into being on the board. Thank you very much, Lori. So AIF is coming, which is called Adventures in Faith, and we haven't done this since way before the pandemic, so we're pretty excited about it. It's going to be both in person and on Zoom. Our opening event, we're going to be collaborating on October 9th with Seal Beach. So on October 9th, our service is at Seal Beach. So we're going to be doing it with Seal Beach on that day. Our closing event is here at Namaste, to which we'll be having both service in collaboration with Seal Beach and a special event right afterwards to celebrate the close of AIF. It's 4-week study in small groups. The book is Stained Glass Spirit by Tracy Brown, who's a practitioner in our movement. This is a book study on diversity, the power of diversity, the gifts of diversity, and it's really a life-changing, community-changing study. So part of what we're going to be doing is wearing colors every week and really connecting with one another between the communities. Vita, which is Downey, formerly Downey, will also be participating in this particular event. Next week, we will have a video that will celebrate and sort of get you excited for AIF. Do not miss out, and I think there's sign-up sheets just for interest that the Welcome team has, and they're going to be passing that out so that you can sign up. So at this time, as we go into our sacred practice, I wanted to do a tribute of our beloved Pat Hicks. And I just wanted to honor that some members of the family, Alfonso is here, who is her nephew, and we're really holding the family in our prayers and our condolences. The impact of the loss of Pat has been great in the community, and we hold you as well as you walk through that time of grief. We're saddened by the loss of our beloved member, our friend and family member. Pat had just celebrated her 66th birthday on August 31st. She was on vacation and returning with her partner, Sandy Williams, on September 4th, aboard a float plane coming back from San Juan Islands in Washington, when the plane went down, killing the pilot and 9 passengers. Pat was a remarkably generous and joyful part of our community. She gave in joy, support, and she was a voice for many. Before the pandemic, Pat had purchased a motorhome that she called Ruby. And she traveled and she sent photos to Namasté and well wishes throughout her journey, and we even posted and showed some of those photos that she sent. I think she visited every CSL that she knew of in our country and would send photos of herself with the leaders and or community members of those communities. It was amazing and joyful. So Pat. She ended her journey settling in Spokane and finding love again with Sandy Williams. Today we open and close our service in tribute to our beloved Pat Hicks. Information on the service and the gathering will be forthcoming. We hold all in our hearts and prayers. Let us take a moment of silence and remember our beloved friend and family member. So today our musical number, we have 2 musical numbers that we'd like to dedicate to Pat today. The first one is The Face of God, which Pat surely saw everyone as the face of God. So as we go into that sacred time, I just remind you after the song to not clap and just say, in that beautiful inner space. Later on, we'll be playing an Aretha Franklin song towards the end of the service in honor of our beloved Pat. And thank you.
You are the face of God. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
Thank you. It's lovely. Absolutely beautiful. Hello again. So, the theme for today is living your dream. Honestly, I've been struggling with the idea of living your dream to the point of frustration. Having a dream to pursue seems to be core to being an American. We have the idea of the American dream, a dream so powerful that people will walk across a continent to experience it. Walk across the continent to experience it. And I'm guessing that American dream for them is more than a desire for swimming pools and movie stars. I think one of the reasons that I wrestle with the idea of living my dream is that I've got it tangled up with this physical world. The acquisition of stuff. It makes sense that I'd get it tangled up with, get caught in that bramble patch, because living the dream is marketed to us as if we could buy our dreams and acquire ultimate, unending bliss. For me to live that dream means that I got to get a job because I have to bring home the bacon if I'm going to be able to afford those swimming pools and mingling with those movie stars. I did get a chance to move into that, what at one time I thought was my dream job. I was good at it. It afforded me the stuff I wanted. I enjoyed working, and I developed a reputation that so much that people would call me up and ask me to work for them. One day I took one of those jobs because it allowed me to transfer to a city that I always wanted to live in, and it came along just at the right time. It allowed me to get out of a situation of poisonous office politics that a new manager had been fostering. So I was living my dream, and I had manifested it. So I get to the new job, start settling in. In a matter of a few weeks, I realized that there were some unpleasant things going on there, too. Very similar to what I had just left. And I thought, I can't leave, I just got here. that's when I said to myself, what if the problem isn't out there? And I asked, what's going on with me? What is it that's bringing these unpleasant experiences into my life, into my experience? What's in my thinking that's creating this experience? This experience over and over and over again. You know what I'm talking about? You ever been there? Ernest Holmes believed that we live on 3 planes at the same time: the physical, the intellectual, and the spiritual. And he wrote, to live only on the physical plane is to become a brute. To live only on the physical plane is to become a brute. To live on the intellectual plane alone might produce a learned and a scientific man, but he would lack true perception. To live only on the spiritual plane might cause one to become a dreamer without any practical way of making his dreams come true. What I've come to understand over time, and what I currently believe about work, is it's about us coming together. It's not about what I can get from it. It's what I bring to it. And I'm not simply referring to my technical skills or working hard. It's about bringing my spiritual practice to the job. Not just being hard at work, but bringing heart at work. Because that's the job. It's not the stuff I produce or the paycheck I take home. It's about my relationships with others. So we come together in a community. We can bring into this material experience the dream of a world we all know is possible. So before we go into a meditation, you have an intention card that you were given. So why don't you just bring that out? You can hold it on your heart if you want, as you settle in, but just be ready with that. And I want to read from Ernest Holmes, a meditation, My Profession. You can close your eyes if you want to, untangle yourself, put that intention on your heart, just taking a deep breath. And as you exhale, let go of anything that no longer serves you. My profession is the activity of the great mind working through me. As such, it is a divine activity and is constantly in touch with reality. That's reality with a capital R. I'm inspired in my work from on high with lofty ideals, and my thought is illuminated by the all-knowing one. And say to yourself, I am inspired. Breathe that in. I am inspired. Breathe it in and know I am inspired. And as you come back to service, you come back to this room, to the space you're in, just take out that intention card. And for this week, I want you to write your intention for this week. It might be a God quality, something that you want to see unfold in your life. Write that on your intention. That's for you to take home, to put on your altar, so that it'll be altered. And you can bring it to this life and to this experience. Thank you, Namaste. I love you all. Blessings. You're awesome.
If you're down and confused and you don't remember who you're talking to, Well, concentration slip away, because your baby is far away. Well, there's a rose in a fisted glove, and the eagle flies with the dove. And if you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you're with. 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 Don't be angry. Don't be sad. Don't sit crying over good things you've had. Well, there's a person right next to you, and they're just waiting for something you do. Well, there's a rose in a fisted glove, and the eagle flies with the dove. And if you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you're with. Sing it. Love the one you're with. 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 Do 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 do. Turn your heartache right to joy. Well, she's a girl and you're a boy. I get it together, make it nice. Ain't gonna need any more good advice. Well, there's a rose in a fisted glove, and the eagle flies with the dove. And if you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you're with. 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 Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Woo.
You know, the music that we picked today kind of fit with the theme, but I'm just going to say this about our beloved Pat. She'd be up dancing right up front here. Kenny Lee told me a story real quick about how he asked her to be in this video that he was making. And he said, "Hey, Pat, would you dance in that video?" And Kenny said she took it on fully. She was a solid gold dancer through the whole thing. And so when I think about our music today, it really speaks to the joy of Pat. It speaks to who she is. And I know Seal Beach lost a beloved member this week as well. And so we just hold Seal Beach as, you know, there's been a bit of loss lately, and just knowing that it happens and we come together and we get to hold one another as we walk through this grief. So John and I sort of coordinated, we keep having these collaboration meetings together between the communities, and they've been so revealing.
Revealing and deep and just wonderful.
Yes, and one of the things that we talked about today is in coming together, and especially in our philosophy. I'm going to read what's up there. Here, John, you take that, and I'll go ahead and read it from over here. This is something Ernest Holmes wrote. He's the founder of Science of Mind, and he wrote this in the Science of Mind book. And he says, in demonstrating conditions, the only inquiries we need to make are, do the things that we want lend themselves to a constructive program? This is everything we do. Do they express a more abundant life? Rob none. Create no delusion, but instead, do they express a greater degree of livingness? So we'll start from there. What do you think, John?
I think there's lots of work for us to do
Yeah.
with that statement.
Do you want to see that?
I'll hold
Okay. One of the things we talked about with respect to coming together as communities is a lot of times it's really, really easy to just bypass and go right to including in our own lives and including with each other what's working,
What's good,
what's great.
what feels right,
Absolutely.
and bypass what's not working.
Which is the place that we get to look in our lives and decide if we really want to deal with the thing that we've been carrying for so long. Or do we just want to avoid it?
And what's the answer? What do we typically end up doing? Avoiding. Because it's easier to do. And we don't have to face what it's really there for, which is there for us. If we truly intend to live a spiritual life and go deeper, then it's there for us to do that. When we call something forward, like a happier life, a greater life, and something shows up that isn't that, then that's a call for us to look hard at that.
I imagine, too, that sometimes the thing that disturbs us isn't necessarily a bad thing, is it? No. Sometimes the thing that shows up in front of us is disturbing to us because it's a change, it's a shift, it's a loss, it's an end of something. But also sometimes the thing that shows up, and I say this, be careful what you pray for. Right? You just may get it. And what shows up in our life may not be the thing that we thought was part of that prayer. And sometimes it is. It's a lot of times I wonder how much of it is our perspective of it.
Well, that brought to mind Oprah was talking about in her collaboration with Deepak Chopra. She once asked for strength. And she says she was never challenged so much in a year, and she'll never do that again. And how many times do we do that? We ask for something and it appears. And if it's what we asked for, then there's something in that for us to pay attention to.
Sometimes when we pray or we set an intention for something, things don't show up exactly in a timing that we like. And the quick answer is God's time, right? But I often think that's just kind of a shortcut to it. Sometimes that for that thing to happen in our lives, for our lives to actually unfold and manifest, there's a part of us that has to change. To see it, to know what it is when it shows up. Because so often when I'm praying, something shows up and later I've found myself go, oh, that was it. That was what I was praying for. But I really had an idea from where it is in the condition I was thinking what the answer was, and the thing that I needed was the very thing I didn't want.
Well, and the thing that you don't want, why is it there? And how are you reacting to it? I like to look at this a lot of ways in terms of energy. And so a condition shows up and I react to it with worry, doubt, fear, whatever it is. And I have to look at who is animating that condition or my reaction to that condition. And it's me. I'm sending my energy outside of myself to look at that condition and feel that fear, doubt, worry, anxiety, whatever it is. And so my first step is to bring that energy back to my center and recognize that that's what's really happening here. Then the condition I can look at more objectively and even hand it off to spirit to say, oh, I see that's happening again, especially with a chronic thing that triggers us over and over again. And why is my energy consistently going there to animate it?
One of the things we do as practitioners is we treat until that thing that we change sort of the perspective of ourselves for others. So when I'm praying for somebody, I'm really praying that my mind is open so that I can see that not just for myself, but for anyone that I'm praying with. part of that is, isn't it interesting that the way we pray in this particular movement is, I need to change me too.
Darn it.
I know. Because prayer changes me, and it's the person that's praying that it starts with. And if I can see that for you until you see that for you, that's the power of prayer. That's why community is so important for us to understand and look at, that when things show up and we're treating or praying for something, that we're open at the top for what shows up. For the experience or event or situation or circumstance, and understand we don't always have, it's not that every event that shows up we've brought on. Obviously, loss isn't something we pray for, and yet it happens. Over the last few years of losing loved ones or whatever, the loss that's happened, loss of jobs, the whole world is changing. The world we live in today is not the world we lived in 2 years ago. So what are we going to create?
And that's the question. What do we really want to create? We say we want to create something. It says we need to do the things that we want lend themselves to a constructive program. To me, that's a fascinating question. What is a constructive program for the things that we want?
And because for me, when I think about that, I keep thinking that if I'm only thinking about myself, is that constructive? Is that how we can change the world, if I'm only thinking about me? If I'm not thinking about how I can make a difference in the world with folks that are truly struggling, marginalized, inequitable access, how can I change the world if I'm only thinking about myself?
I love Jesse's point in his talk that he wanted a new job, he wanted a greater experience, and he ended up experiencing the same thing that he had done previously. And what did he do? He went to spiritual practice. Now think of that, not only impacting himself, but potentially impacting and changing the entire workplace. That's what it's about, is engaging this practice with others, coming from that place of love and compassion, because that's irresistible, and that's what changes the world. And if we all can do that more. I talked about today at Seal Beach, plant science. This is from the book Braiding Sweetgrass. Plant science has discovered that there's a reciprocity between plants and appreciation and gratitude. And the more gratitude that you share with plants, they reciprocate by increasing their yields, their taste, their less reliable on fertilizer and pesticide. It changes the plant on a cellular level. The choices that we make in how we're going to behave shift evolution. Imagine then if we're connected, and indigenous people knew this. They knew that their relationship with nature was an increase, a change, and transformation, not only in their own lives, but in their relationship with all of nature. We have that power. I call it appreciative reciprocity. It's a mouthful, but appreciative reciprocity, if we add that to our ability to change our thinking and change our life and reach deeper into that emotion of our connection with each other, that's where transformation can really occur on a collective level.
What if we did that with all of God's creation? What if we had a sense of appreciation and love for anyone that we come in contact with? Anyone. Not just those that are easy to love because I don't know, they think like us. But what if we had that kind of love and appreciation for all that we came in contact with? Could we change the world? And I'm asking this out loud to you. Can we change the world if we truly show and act as if we loved one another? I love when I usually say the interactive part of it, which is, responding back. There's such power in that reciprocity and recognizing it.
Science is just beginning to recognize it. Indigenous people have known it for thousands of generations. We hold up the science of mind as the epitome of the creative process, but there's so much more power than we can even begin to tap into. And it really is simple. But we have to let go of a lot to get to that place of simplicity.
What's that last paragraph there, John? Could you read that?
It says, therefore, we must resolutely turn away from every experience which has been negative, from every experience which has been a failure, and from every experience which denies God.
So sometimes when we're studying the philosophy that we study, we think we're turning away from something like, well, I can't look at it. I need to turn away and look somewhere else, but that's really not what this is about, because to ignore a condition is just what we would call a spiritual bypass. It's important to look at our lives, to look how we are as individuals and communities out there. How are we? And if things keep happening in our lives that we don't like, appreciate, or feel is not in alignment with who we really are, we do have to look at the situation, the conditions. We just can't solve it by being in the middle of it. We cannot solve the problem by being in the problem. Because going forward, I think what I keep finding myself with, John, is the fact that if we're going to solve some of the issues that are out there, these are new solutions. These are new ways of being. And we can't be distracted by the condition. We have to explore the idea of being open and surrendering to a new and divine idea.
And that's clear because the thinking that got us there is not adequate to get us out of it. And that impresses, more importantly, the value of community. To use I think it was Eric Butterworth would talk about the hive mind, the mind of people like us that have this power but come from a different perspective that can offer us an insight. I mean, how often does a friend complain to you about an issue that they're dealing with and you can see clearly what's going on with them, right? But we're blind very often to that same issue within ourselves. And this gets to this idea of community, of understanding and validating the voice that is right in front of you, and hearing it, and accepting it before you give any advice. You know, we have 2 ears for a reason.
And one mouth.
And one mouth.
The tendency, too, I think, coming out of a pandemic is to do it on our own, isn't it? Is to stay in that comfortable, secluded, private retreat and not venture out and look at how being in a community can be helpful in that way.
Because we were told it wasn't safe.
Exactly. Which the community isn't the place that isn't safe. It was just sort of how we could protect ourselves from what was happening around us. The challenge now is how do we come back out and come together? How many of you can answer this just inside yourself? How many think that you don't matter? That your presence here doesn't matter? that you don't affect another, or that someone else in this room can't have a great impact on you. In our DNA is this collective consciousness. We are all one. We are not separate. So I wonder if that, John, I love that word, constructive program. Am I availing myself of a constructive program?
What does that look like for you? A constructive program. Does it express more abundant life? Rob none, create no delusion, but instead, do they express a greater degree of livingness? If it doesn't, then get another program. It's so easy to fall into good enough, or that's what everybody else is doing, or, conventional wisdom. I love that one. Conventional wisdom tells us we must accept things a certain way. Well, if things are coming up because you're living that program, then it's time to change something.
I tend to do a standard spiritual practice, right? I do what I do in the mornings, and what I have found in the last couple of years is that standard spiritual practice doesn't really support me like it used to. And so I've been having to explore alternatives, because we're so good. I'm so good at habit. I got habits down so well. I get up in the morning, I have my coffee, I talk to my spouse, and I do a host of things that are pretty much in line with, well, I've always done it. The problem with that is it doesn't change parts of my life that I'd really like to change. It doesn't. I just keep doing it the same way. So recently I've been engaging in sort of some new ways of doing my spiritual practice. Here's what's happening. Are you ready, John?
I'm holding on.
I knew it. Bated breath going on right over here. I have dealt with anxiety my entire life. Through the pandemic, I think I almost exploded. I found it very, very difficult to manage. And I've started a new practice in the last year that has reduced, if not almost completely, my anxiety has completely disappeared. And it's only because I decided to look at if the things I was doing were constructive anymore. It's not that they were bad. It's not that they were bad for me. They just weren't producing the same. And I am a creature of habit, so it really has required me to step out and open myself up to new ways of being. And part of that was being really vulnerable about what was going on for me. And that's hard.
Well, when you are in that place of a stale practice and you insist on staying there, then the universe will bring you to a greater realization with the cosmic 2x4 or whatever it takes, that you will change that practice so that it's more constructive. Because you can't keep affirming there's only one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now, and expect things to stay the same. So you've got to become aware of the staleness of your spiritual practice, any staleness in your life, because that's not a greater degree of livingness.
So as we go through the rest of the service and the rest of this week, you know that intention card you have? The one you slip back in your pocket or your purse or whatever it is? Yeah, that one.
Homework.
Pull that out and set your attention for this week. Do you want to be more loving, more present, connective? Do you want to have more courage? What is it that you want to bring to the world this week? What is it that we can bring through our intentions, through our connections with others? What's the constructive program we want to begin?
Maybe it's as simple as love the one you're with.
I love that. So I just want to thank Reverend John for coming in today and the community of Seal Beach.
And thank you, Reverend Bobby, for all the things that you bring to life, your brilliance and your talent and everything else.
Thank you. I definitely love the one I'm with right now from that. So let's go into prayer. So just untwist and unwind. Prayer is tough for a lot of folks. If you come from a tradition that you've changed your prayer, prayer can be difficult to find a friend with again. And we have such judgment sometimes about how we pray, and the truth of it is God answers all prayers. If the only prayer you say is, help me, that's enough. So as I recognize and hold that oneness that is God, that oneness that is Spirit, that oneness that is in, through, and as all things, knowing that love and peace and grace, the beautiful qualities of God run through all things. I am one with it, and I know everyone in this room is. So what I see and recognize as we go forward with these powerful intentions that we write and speak to and open to, life opens as well. And we become that love, grace, and joy that God is already as us. As we come together on this day to hold in our prayers the family and friends of Pat Hicks, we just bless them on their journey as they walk through this difficult time, and we hold them in our hearts. We hold them as that beautiful connection of someone so beloved that who she is, what she is, and how she was is part of the DNA and the bloodline that is here at this community. We're so grateful for who Pat was and that continued legacy that she leaves forever in us. And so I, in gratitude for all that is, say thank you, God. And so it is.
And all I'm asking for, is a little respect when I come home. Just a little respect when I come home. Oh, I'm about to give you all my money, but all I'm asking for in return, honey, is to give me my promise. Just give me my promise when I come home. A little respect. A little respect when I come home. Oh, your kisses are sweeter than honey. And guess what, baby? So is my money. And all I want you to do for me is give me some respect. Yo, when I come home, give me some respect when I come home. Hey. R-B-S-P-E-C-T R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T now. Oh, 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 give it to me. Some respect now, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, give me some when I come home. Some respect now, yeah, yeah, when I come home. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Yeah, woo.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. That's what I keep reading. Let's keep going. Thank you. Woo. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little respect now, yeah. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you so much. That was awesome. Whew. Thank you. I don't know about you, but the music has moved me today. Let's give them some love. Yes, absolutely. Yes, yes. All right. So I just want to take this time now for our gifts and tithes. And I just want to share with you how much I appreciated our conversation today. And it talked about living life and living it abundantly, and the statement that was up there. And, you know, I just want to invite you to give from a place of abundance and gratitude for that which we have right now in this moment. Not for something that we're seeking in the future, but what do I have to be thankful for right now? It could be your breath. It could be the clothes that you have on your back. Whatever it is, I want you to place your hands on your heart in absolute gratitude and thanksgiving. Thank you, thank you, thank you for my breath. Thank you for the clothing on my body, for the shoes on my feet, for all of the blessings that I have, known and unknown. Thank you. And it is from this place that we say our affirmation together. And here it is. We give today as we place our hands on our hearts. And let's start over. Keep those hands on your heart. We give today as a community rich and intentional in creating a world that supports the peace that is who we are and peace for all who enter here. As we give, we anchor in that peace in our prayers, in our actions at home, our daily practices, and how we show up in the world. We affirm this as true, and so it is, and so it shall be. And I just wanted to let you know the many ways that you can give to our community through PayPal, through Venmo, through Give Plus, and we also have a basket in the back as well. And remembering to give from that place of absolute gratitude and thanksgiving. Yes, yes. And I wanted I don't have an order of service for the thank yous, please. I wanted to thank everyone that it has come together. Thank you so much, Reverend Bobby. Everyone that's come together to put this service, you know, it takes a village, and I'm so grateful for all of the beautiful angels who contribute to this service. First of all, to Reverend John and Reverend Bobby for an amazing conversation today. Yes. And to once again, to our wonderful music team, Kong, Lorenzo, and Love. Thank you. Our sound and streaming team, Lena, Sierra, and all the angels working on our sound and streaming, yes. Jesse Keeler for our amazing practitioner, amazing talk. Thank you, Jesse. Debian Volks, our minister support. Debian, thanks for holding us in consciousness today. And Lori Winterraub for our Board of Trustees. Thank you so much for the announcements. And thank you, our welcome team leaders, Julie Gano and Janine, and everyone who's contributing to our welcome. Thank you all so much. We appreciate everything that you do. We really, really do. And so we want to, we're going to close today. We're going to put to the candle, and although it looks like we're closing, we are actually opening. So as we leave service, we are opening and taking our light out into the world. So thank you, Debian, for lighting the candle, as well for putting the candle out. And as we open the circle and as we put the light out, we become the light. And we take our light out into the world with our intentions that we set today. So thank you for being the light in this world. And we're going to do our benediction together. Are you ready to do our closing benediction? Please rise as we say this as if we have never said it before. Did you have something?
No, I was thinking you were going to ask me something or do something. I'm just waiting so anxiously.
Yes, I do. And the first thing I want to say, she always throws me off. I just want to say, you throw me off. You just keep me on my toes. No, it's okay. It's called keeping me on my toes.
Open at the top, I think.
And so you help me surrender to God all the time. So one thing I want to remind us as we say our benediction is remembering that we are life. So that's where we're coming from when we declare this. Are you ready?
I'm totally ready. I'm waiting for you.
Okay, so what is happening right now?
Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
Woo! What's it called?
It is this thing called life.
Yes. And where is it at?
Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is all that I am. Life is all that we are.
Knowing this to be so, what are we going to do with it?
I accept it. I am it. I share it with all.
How?
Just the way it appears, and just the way it appears not.
And the most important words you can ever say in your entire life is our
Thank you, life.
Thank you, Namaste. And thank you, Pat, for your wonderful life and love. Whoa. I am alive with the Spirit of God. 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 I am alive, yo, alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit, alive with the Spirit, alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive, yo, alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit, alive with the Spirit, alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive, y'all, alive with the Spirit of God. Thank you, Namaste. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Namaste. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Cool. We'll just run through